So the coaching side is relatively self-explanatory. So that's working with, could be dads, could be athletes, dads can be athletes. So, I'm working with athletes, some of whom are dads. And focus primarily around strength training, getting people stronger, as well as doing some conditioning stuff as well, because I think one of the big parts that I came to realize early on in my fatherhood journey was I need to look out for my own health and longevity. And if all I do is lift and I don't actually take, some time to do some cardio and take attention to some of the other aspects of my health, that'll catch up on me in time. So I've been trying to kind of make that a bit of a priority, even while strength might be the focus, to try and find ways to build that in. And, might not be a whole bunch of that cardio stuff like it was when I was doing some half marathons and things, but at the moment strength is the focus. But it's also, don't let that completely slip off, because it's so much harder to get back into it. And that's probably one of the big things with, parenthood and exercise in general, is it's really hard to pick it back up if you drop it. So if you can keep a real baseline and low level of your training throughout those hard seasons and those hard years, then you've still got that habit. And when you want to ramp it back up again, you're not going back to zero and square one and then, trying to build capacity again. You're actually starting from a foundation that you can build from.
I always tell people, if you remain consistent with your training, even if you're not training hard or whatever, but you maintain that routine of this time every day is for the purpose of getting stronger or fitter or whatever. But you just don't train hard during that time. When you're ready to train hard again, you don't have to relearn the skill of discipline. Because I find for most people, the first 3 months is just figuring out, how do I turn up again? And then you got to, you build that, and then 3 months after that, you actually work on the things that you want to work on.
Yeah, I had one of the guests early on. He said basically his key tip for dads was just don't stop. He's like, I don't care how much you do. I don't care if it's just getting out for like a 1K. He's a runner, so he's like, just a really short run. Doesn't matter. Just don't stop. Like, keep doing something during that time, especially during the hard times, because that habit, and building that discipline and having that as a consistent thing and just part of who you are and what you do, that's important. And I think oftentimes when we might have competed at a higher level or, taken it pretty seriously, it's really hard to do it on a low level and feel like you're still doing it. But it's so important, because you don't know when you might decide that you actually want to push it again. And it's so much harder to start again from zero than it is to start from 20% or 30% of what you were doing before. So the coaching, there's working with a handful of athletes there, and then also doing some consulting stuff. So that's kind of
the consulting sounds interesting. I just like consulting in general, because it's like, what do you do? Well, people just pay me for my ideas. I'm a consultant.
Really
oh, okay. So you just come here and you give opinions. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Just.
So I've been doing a bunch of different things.